So one of the things that we're seeing about the brain is it actually activates in a certain pattern when you truly believe something, and that belief is uncoupled from reality. So the biology of your brain is not really rooted in the reality of the world, and we can use that to our advantage. This comes from functional MRI studies where they put people in these machines and it measures the metabolic activity of their brains, and they can see the specific patterns that activate when they're asked certain questions about their belief structures. So how do we use that for self-development? Well, I was researching on Google for this talk actually, and I was looking at the difference between confidence and faith. And someone in a blog made a really interesting comment. The argument was that confidence is based on fact, whereas faith is not based on fact. And again, we can use this distinction to our advantage because when you look at self-development, you cannot gauge your future success, your future ability on your past success. Because by definition, self-development involves having more success in the future than you've had in the past. And Napoleon Hill said it best. He said, if you base your future success on past successes, you're going to be sunk because, again, by definition, it doesn't work that way. So how do we use these different belief structures to our advantage? Well, when you're first getting started, before you've had a whole lot of success in developing yourself in whatever field that you're in, you need to have an element of faith. You have to envision where you're going and have faith that you'll get there. Because what faith does is activate the brain in a certain way that causes the biology of your body to get enthusiastic, take risks, make decisions that lead you to where you want to go. So we're going to use faith and confidence in different ways. You have to use a balance because in the beginning it's going to take a lot of faith in order to build momentum. And as you gain what you call reference experiences, which is the manifestation from the environment telling you that you're on the right track, you gain confidence. But again, the interesting thing about those two different concepts is that they actually feed into the same brain activation pattern that gets you enthused, making the right decisions, and making progress towards your goals. Now, how do you utilize that? How do you harness it? I've been listening to a lot of lectures by Tai Lopez, and he makes the distinction between people that are impatiently patient and patiently impatient. He calls the system IP versus PI. And what it has to do with is with action, which is what I've talked a lot on this channel about. So there's two different types of people. The first type of person sets a goal, and it's a far off goal. They say, in 20 years, I'm going to do this, that, and the other. I'm going to live here. I'm going to have these types of resources. But they're patiently impatient. So they're patient. They're sitting there saying, it's 20 years off. I have plenty of time. I'm not going to do the thing that I need to do today in order to start the process. But the problem with that is that later on they become impatient because since they haven't taken action to start the process, they become impatient with time because they realize that they're not progressing towards their goals at the pace at which would actually allow them to even get to their goals, even within 20 years. The type that you want to be is impatiently patient. So as soon as you set a goal, you need to be incredibly impatient to get started. You need to start right that day doing whatever little tasks you need to do in order to start the process so that you can build momentum. And I call that future ability. You're taking your abilities now, sharpening the sword, and continually improving over a long course of time to develop a future ability that will allow you to capitalize on opportunities that come your way. So that impatiently patient person, there's another concept in there. So you're impatient to start, but you are patient to allow the process to evolve. Because with self-development, unlike this stream that is flowing behind us, self-development is more a molasses process. It moves very slow. You can't change your personality, your abilities, your confidence over time, overnight. It's going to take a significant amount of time in order to develop yourself. And you need to be patient with that because it's very easy to become impatient in the long term and give up. So you need to be impatient actually starting the process, taking the action you need to do today in order to start the process, and continue that day to day, but making sure that you're patient and not burning yourself out during the process because you understand that self-development is like changing the personality like molasses. It taking a long amount of time in order to get there. So you have to be patient with the process. And if you understand the balance between confidence and faith, and understand that they have similar effects on the brain, allowing your body to engage in this process, you can utilize that. During your different times in your path, you'll have different balances of faith and confidence depending on how all things are going for you. At the beginning, faith is important because you want to start the process based on little fact, but later on, you definitely want to have more confidence based on fact so that you look at the reference experiences that you're having in order to make the right decisions during the way. So that's all I had for you on this video. Thanks so much for the listen. Cody Rall, see you next time. Thanks.